adversaries remain on notice. America can project our will anywhere, anytime. The coordination, the stealth, the lethality, the precision, the very long arm of American justice, all on full display in the middle of the night. Nicolás Maduro had his chance. He effed around, and he found out.
In the early hours of January 03rd, the United States shocked the world with an operation that flexed its hard power, and that too unapologetically, unrestrained. In a covert, middle-of-the-night operation, Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro and his wife were pulled from their bedroom, blindfolded, flown out of the country, and deposited into a New York detention facility, all on President Donald Trump's direct order. Washington called it justice. The world saw a warning. The official explanation was simple: drugs. According to the Trump administration, Venezuela had become a full-blown narco-state, with Maduro at the center of a global cocaine empire. U.S. prosecutors allege his government collaborated with criminal networks like the Cartel de los Soles, pushing hundreds of tons of cocaine into the United States and Europe every year. Trump called the operation a decisive blow against organized crime.
The illegitimate dictator Maduro was the kingpin of a vast criminal network responsible for trafficking colossal amounts of deadly and illicit drugs into the United States. As alleged in the indictment, he personally oversaw the vicious cartel known as Cartel de los Soles, which flooded our nation with lethal poison, responsible for the deaths of countless Americans, the many, many Americans. Hundreds of thousands over the years of Americans died because of him. Maduro and his wife will soon face the full might of American justice and stand trial on American soil. Right now they're on a ship. They'll be heading to, ultimately, New York, and then a decision will be made, I assume, between New York and Miami or Florida. But we have people where the overwhelming evidence of their crimes will be presented in a court of law. And I've seen it. I've seen what we have. It's both horrible and breathtaking that something like this could have been allowed to take place.
But beneath that clean narrative lies a far more complicated reality. Because cocaine, while serious, is not what's killing America in record numbers. The real driver of the US overdose crisis is fentanyl, a synthetic opioid far deadlier than cocaine. CDC data shows overdose deaths nearly quadrupled between 2016 and 2021, largely due to synthetic opioids, not cocaine, and Venezuela is not a major source of fentanyl. Even cocaine routes tell a different story. Colombia and Mexico remain the dominant suppliers, according to both the DEA and the United Nations. So why Venezuela? Why now? Venezuela sits on the largest proven oil reserves on Earth, more than Saudi Arabia. 303 billion barrels, much of it heavy crude buried beneath the Orinoco belt. Difficult to refine, expensive to extract, but enormously valuable. Oil has always been a sticking point in the US-Venezuela relationship. In 1970, Venezuela pumped nearly 4 million barrels a day. By 2020, sanctions, mismanagement, and economic collapse slashed output to barely 500,000 barrels. Production has since recovered slightly, but it remains a shadow of what it once was. Trump didn't hide the real prize. After the operation, he said it plainly.
As everyone knows, the oil business in Venezuela has been a bust, a total bust, for a long period of time. They were pumping almost nothing by comparison to what they could have been pumping and what could have taken place. We're going to have our very large United States oil companies, the biggest anywhere in the world, go in, spend billions of dollars, fix the badly broken infrastructure, the oil infrastructure, and start making money for the country.
Sanctions had already tightened the noose. Venezuela's state oil giant, PDVSA, was cut off from global finance. Naval pressure choked exports. Billions in revenue vanished. The economy buckled. At the same time, Maduro drew closer to America's rivals, Russia, China, Iran. That alignment turned Venezuela from a troubled state into a strategic threat. This wasn't just law enforcement. It was geopolitics.
In this last 1 year, Trump has bombed 7 countries. And I'll give you the list. Yemen, from January to May 2025. Somalia, February to December, 111 strikes. Iraq, Iran, Syria, Nigeria, and Venezuela. All these countries are related to oil resources. Now, the US has its own oil resources. So why is it bombing these countries? Number one, so the US oil companies have an advantage. Second, that these are choke points, that if there is a war with, let's say, China or any other country, they can manage their imperialism through these choke points of oil. They cut off oil. Tomorrow, China will not have oil for its industry. Though China has many other sources, Russian oil, etc., controlling OPEC prices. So it's a straight resource war by the Americans.
By removing Maduro, Washington reasserted dominance in its own hemisphere, sent a warning to adversaries, and positioned itself closer to one of the world's most valuable energy reserves. So was it drugs? Yes, as justification. Was it oil? Absolutely, as leverage. But beyond both lies something bigger: power. When US strategic interests collide with sovereignty, the United States is willing to act, decisively, dramatically, and without apology. This wasn't just the capture of a president. It was a statement to the world.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to Mirror Now.